Once We Are Ohio's done paying you, how much do they have left to doing this?
I have not looked at the campaign finance reports. I think that we're very similar to whatever we had at our last reporting period. We've been, sort of reviewing our position since the election, and so and that's why today's so important. We are announcing that We Are Ohio is going to stay together, and we're going to be very active in educating, informing, and engaging the hundreds of thousands of Ohioans who are very upset about the persistent attack on their families, on their rights, on their safety, on their community, and on their jobs.
I'm a little confused as to what your group is going to do on 194, because we keep getting kind of different things. Well, you hate 194, but you don't want them to take it off the referendum. You don't want them to get rid of the law. What
I'm not sure
are
I
you going to
understand your
do
question.
on 194?
Well, on 194, we're going to educate and inform and engage. I mean, when you have a grassroots, citizen-driven, nonpartisan coalition like We Are Ohio that is in all 88 counties, people just need information. They want to be told what does 194 do to them. 194 is an attack on voter rights. It doesn't slam shut the window of opportunity for voters, but it certainly slams the window down onto their fingers. We want to make sure that people understand that. And we're going to use all of our resources to educate, inform, and that way when people go in the voting booth this November, which they'll do, they'll vote no. And veto House Bill 194 the same way they vetoed Senate Bill 5 last year.
But, one of the reasons that the lawmakers have talked about wanting to repeal it themselves is their very fear that this campaign will confuse voters and make it difficult for them to know what the rules are heading into the polls for this fall. So how do you respond to?
Would you explain to me how them passing a law last year in June and We Are Ohio trying to veto that law confuses voters? I'm not sure I understand that.
Right. I mean, their statements have been that they want to repeal it now because they understand it's unpopular, and that a campaign that you would characterize as an education campaign by their standards would confuse people. This is what you said and others have said about repealing it.
Yeah, I'm actually completely confused by their response. So I probably should try to reach out to them for clarification.
So are you saying you haven't, We Are Ohio hasn't done any fundraising or raised any money since the campaign ended in November?
If there's been any fundraising, it's just been people voluntarily sending us checks or something like that. There are opportunities to donate online, so that may have occurred, but we'll have to look at that when the filing deadlines come. But we have not actively been fundraising.
Now, there's already a group obviously fighting House Bill 194, the Fair Elections Ohio group. How much more will you need to do in addition to them? And will you be saving yourself, or will the group be saving itself mostly for the fight for right to work?
I think that we have two priorities, which is fighting right to work, which is wrong, and we also want to fight in House Bill 194. But there is another group, and I believe at this point they're driving that issue. Because it is their campaign. But again, because we have so many people coming to us and asking us for information, we're going to do everything we can to use all of our tools to inform and educate and engage the public in vetoing House Bill 194.
I don't know if it's legal, can you legally give money to candidate campaigns, or will you? You got Maureen Reed, for example, active in your campaign, she's running.
I do not know the answer to the legal part of that question. It's my understanding that at this point, We Are Ohio will not be involved in endorsing candidates. We are a nonpartisan citizen-driven grassroots organization comprised of Republicans, Democrats, and Independents. And so we are not going to be engaging in partisan politics.
How did We Are Ohio come to this decision as to which priorities it was going to take up? Is there like a board that voted on it?
Yeah, all of the partner organizations, which range from member organizations to community action groups to retirees to veterans, police officers, firefighters, nurses, teachers. Those groups, there is a board, and those groups came together, discussed this, and decided that the priorities at this time would be right to work is wrong and the anti-voter rights bill.
And so much of the organization structure from the SB 5 fight is still in place then?
Yes. The one thing that is going to be very interesting this year that we're very excited about is there will be more involvement by private sector workers. For instance, I think you're going to see the auto workers. They're up in Youngstown. We're having 6 press conferences today. Up in Youngstown and in Toledo, auto workers are appearing as part of these press conferences.
Dennis, obviously, last year you were able to raise quite a bit of money for the SB 5 campaign, but that was an off-election year. This year you've got a presidential election, a Senate race, and legislative races all over the place that are all looking for that union money. How, if you do need to step in with a significant, costly campaign, can We Are Ohio do it?
Well, I want to point out that we had more than, I believe, and correct me if this number is wrong, but I believe that we had more than 12,000 small donor contributions last year. We raised more money from just hardworking citizens in this state than any campaign has ever done. So I think that if we would feel the need to aggressively begin fundraising again, we would go back to the very people who are threatened by these attacks on working families and ask them to once again open their checkbooks and give generously. And imagine how difficult it is for some of these families to give anywhere from $10 to $20, $50 to stand up for their own rights. But more than 12,000 of them did, and that's just amazing.
And you're saying that's separate from the big, huge donations from labor unions?
Well, our finance reports are public record. You can go look at them, and I don't think that Building a Better Ohio for Billionaires ever put forward there how much money and who it came from. So we've been an open book. They've been a closed book with a lot of dark secrets.
So do you expect to take the lead on the anti-right to work initiative, or is there already a group that's the lead on that?
I believe that We Are Ohio is stepping up today and saying that we are going to fight right to work is wrong because it hurts families, it destroys jobs and communities, it's unfair and it's unsafe.
You picked these 2 issues. Is it difficult? You have the coalition, particularly those that give most of the money. The coalition of unions. They don't always see eye to eye on a lot of on every issue. But so was it tough to get everyone to agree that these would be the 2 issues, or?
I wasn't privy to all the discussions. I do know that there was. I think that in any situation where you have a diverse and broad-based group of organizations coming together like this, that you have to find common ground. And I think that these were 2 issues that they agreed upon. That's why I'm saying that that's not to say that there won't be further discussions. If working families and the middle class are threatened, I think we have an organization here to fight on their behalf. Those people are looking to us, and we're looking to them. This is a partnership with hundreds of thousands of people.
So could you see the group sticking around even past this fight if something else comes up?
Yes. We were hoping that a 62 to 38% margin of victory for the opponents of Senate Bill 5 would be enough to send a signal to people to just go away and stop these attacks on working families, but obviously some people have not gotten the message, so we're going to be there. That's what we're saying today. We're here to stay.